Good evening, students. Welcome back. Today we will study the different applications of Newton's second law of motion. As we have studied in our last lecture that the Newton's second law of motion states that the force applied on an object, the unbalanced force which is applied on an object, is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. And we have derived that, and we found the result that the unbalanced applied force is equal to the mass of the object and the acceleration produced in the object due to this unbalanced applied force. So now we will discuss some applications of Newton's second law of motion. In this, the first example we can take that we all have observed that while playing cricket, the cricketers usually, the fielders, when the ball comes after hitting by the batsman, they catch the ball and they do not directly catch the ball like this. They actually hold the ball and slowly they pull the ball to the downward direction, and during this downward direction what they do, they actually increases the time. And we can see here that our formula was this: the applied unbalanced force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, that is time. If the time increases, that means the force will be lesser, because the time is inversely proportional to the applied unbalanced force. So what we can say here, that the cricketers actually pulls down the ball, and during this time they increases the time, and if the time increases, then the force which will hit the players will be lesser by the ball. So the players pull the ball downwards. Similarly, in the second example, we can also observe it like this, that you might have observed during high jump, when the athletes jumps from a definite height, then below it some cushions are placed or the sand is placed. The bottom surface is not hard. So when the player jumps from a height and falls down, if the surface will be hard, then the time taken to reduce the force of falling from a height will be lesser, and if time will be lesser, then this force will be high. So the athletes fall on the cushion bed or the sand. In this, what actually happens, the sand or the cushion increases the time for touching the player and the ground. If this increases the time, then again we can say that the applied force will be lesser, and so the athletes do not get hurt. Similarly, we have also observed during the long jump also, when the player takes a jump after coming from a distance and it jumps. He or she jumps. And when he falls at that place, you have observed the sand is very loose. It is again due to the same reason that when the feet of the long jumper touches the hard surface, it will take time. If the time will be increased, then the force will be very good lesser. So due to this, the players get less hurt, or we can say the applied force gets reduced by increasing the time. So now for this we will solve some numerical problems based on this from your textbook exercise examples. So what does this example says? It states that if a force of 5 Newton is applied on a mass of m1 kg, the question has given let the mass of the object be m1 kg. When this force 5 Newton is applied on this m1 kg mass, then due to this force an acceleration of 10 meter per second square is produced. Similarly, the same force we will write here 5 Newton again. The same force is when applied on another object whose mass m is m2. Let this be m2 kg. If the 5 Newton force is applied on a mass of m2 kg, then the acceleration produced is 20 meter per second square. Now the question is asking that if both the masses m1 and m2 are tied together like this, that means the same force again, the same force 5 Newton is applied, and now both the masses m1 and m2 are tied together. So let this mass be m1 plus m2 kg. Now the question is asking, when both the masses m1 and m2 are tied together, then what will be the acceleration produced? So 3 parts are here. We will solve all this one by one and we will find out the acceleration. So in this case, first of all, we have to find out what is the mass m1. The value of m1 is to be found out. So since according to the second law of motion, what we know that the force is equal to the product of mass m and acceleration a. So here the mass is m1. So now we will put the value. The force is 5 Newton and mass is m1 and acceleration is 10 meter per second square. So only m1 will be equals to 5 Newton. Now Newton means kg meter per second square upon 10 meter per second square. So this meter per second square and meter per second square gets cancelled out, and 5 2 times 10. So the value of m1 comes out to be 0.5 kg. Got it? Now we will find out the value of m2 in the same manner. Again we will use the same formula. Force is equals to mass multiplied by acceleration. Now here mass is m2. So the applied force is again 5 Newton. Mass is again m2 and acceleration is 20 meter per second square. So the value of m2 will be 5 kg meter per second square. Actually, we can write Newton in the form of kg meter per second square. So I have written here the same upon 20 meter per second square. So again this meter per second square and meter per second square gets cancelled out. So 4 times 20. Sorry. Now this M2 will be 0.25 kg. Now what according to this third part, it states that we have to find out the acceleration produced in it. Now how much is the acceleration? We will use again the same formula. The force is equals to mass multiplied by acceleration. But here the mass is m1 plus m2 kg. Now what is m1? m1 is 0.5 and what is m2? It is 0.25. So we will write the values here for m1 and m2 and we will get the value of mass m. That is, we can write 0.5 plus 0.25 kg and it will come out to be 0.75 kg. So the value of m we have got 0.75 kg and we will put in place of m, and force is already given 5 Newton. So we will use 5 Newton equals to 0.75 kg multiplied by acceleration A. Now the acceleration A will be equal to 5 kg meter per second square upon 0.75 kg. So again we can very easily cancel out the kg. This will cancel out and we will get the value like this. The acceleration will be equal to 500 upon 75 meter per second square. I have written 500 multiplied by 100 because in the denominator part it is 0.75. After decimal 2 digits are there, so I have multiplied in the numerator by 100 to remove the decimal part. So now if we divide this, we will get acceleration will be equals to how much value we will get. We will find out that its value is 6.6666 and like this meter per second square. So we can round off it like this, that is acceleration produced will be 6.67 meter per second square. This much acceleration will be produced in it. I think you have got the point of the answer. So we will now solve this example number 9.5, in which a velocity time graph is given to you like this, in which the initial velocity is 20 centimeter per second and the final velocity is 0, and the time taken to come to 0 is of 10 seconds. Now a ball of mass 20 gram is given to you and the question is asking how much force is applied, that is force F is applied to bring the ball at rest. That means to bring the velocity from 20 centimeter per second to 0 centimeter per second. So now again we have the same formula. We know that here the initial velocity from the graph, initial velocity, that is u, is equals to 20 centimeter per second, and the final velocity again from the graph we will take it out. V, it is equals to 0 centimeter per second. As we can see, the green line touches the bottom. And time taken, that is T, to bring the ball to rest is 10 seconds. So now we have to find out the force which is required to bring the ball at rest, that is to 0 centimeter per second. Again we can see here the same formula can be applied. Now the force will be equals to mass multiplied by acceleration, and we can see here acceleration is not given, so we will write mass multiplied by rate of change of velocity, that is again the same as acceleration. So we will now put the values here to get the solution. So the force F will be equals to mass is 20 gram multiplied by final velocity and initial velocity. So first of all we will change this 20 gram into its SI unit, that is for gram. So this will become upon 1000, 20 upon 1000 means 0.02 kg, and the centimeter can also be changed into SI unit, that is 20 centimeter to meter per second. We will now divide this by 100, so it will become 0.2 meter per second, 0.2 meter per second after dividing by 100. So now we will put the values here. The mass now becomes 0.02 kg multiplied by final velocity V, it is 0, minus initial velocity 0.2 meter per second upon time t, it is of 10 seconds. So we will now solve it. It will become, the force will be 2 upon 100 kg multiplied by minus 2 upon 100 and meter per second. Clear? And for time it will become again square, meter per second square. So the force will be 2 upon 100 multiplied by minus 2 upon 100 and it will become Newton. So the force will be minus 4 upon 10,000 Newton, and it will become, force will be equals to, now the decimal are 0 are 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to place 1, 2, 3 and 4 meter per, sorry, it will be Newton, 0.0004 Newton. And now we can see the sign. The sign will be negative here. So if in any of our numerical, if the negative sign appears, then we have to give the reason why does this negative sign appears. So we will write here like this: the negative sign indicates that the force is applied in the opposite direction. In the opposite direction. I think this will be sufficient for today. So we will meet tomorrow again. Till then, goodbye.